Yeah, we talking about love, peace, and harmony in the community. Globally, that's what it's about now. Yeah, that's what it's all about now. It's time that we spread our love, do right, no matter black or white. That's what it's all about now. Yeah, it's time to come together now. The global agenda. 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 The global agenda.
Hello and welcome to the Global Agenda Show. I'm your host, Kevin Hezekiah, and you are listening to episode number 8. And today our topic is good women versus thoughts. That is good women versus thoughts, and this is episode number 8. And I am excited to have everyone listening to the show today. It's going to be an amazing show. Today on the show, we have our guest host. Our guest host is Sweet Tea with Hot Sugar Tea podcast show. We have Jay Spark with Jay Spark, the Spark Man podcast show. And we have Takita with Talking with Takita podcast show. And we will be discussing good women versus thoughts. And if you're just listening, you're listening to the Global Agenda Show. I am your host, Kevin Hezekiah, and we have an amazing show, and our show is Good Women versus Thoughts. Now, before I have to go any further into the show, I like to thank our sponsors that make this show possible, and they are Kimora Kreations, the Polictical Corner with Kevin Hezekiah, and Source Nation Radio Live TV, which is now called SRN. So I want to thank the sponsors as well. And if you're looking to have your business promoted and would like to have the Global Agenda to promote your business, feel free to give us a call. You can give us a call at 804-464-7254, or you can email us at info@theglobalAgendashow.com. Also, we're looking for merchandise sponsors, so we're looking for people who have merchandise for as anything, clothing, t-shirts, hats, if you have jewelry, whatever type of merchandise it is that you're selling and you would like to have it promoted, just give us a call at 804-464-7254, or email us at info@theglobalAgendashow.com. And also, we're looking for artists, independent artists, to be the indie artist of the week. And if you are an artist and you want to get your music out and heard through the World Wide Web, feel free to email us and attention submissions, and that's at info@theglobalAgendashow.com, or give us a call at 804-464-7254. All right, moving right along. Like I said, I'm your host, Kevin Hezekiah, and today our topic is good women versus thoughts. Now, we're going to take us a quick break, and when I come back from the break, we will go into our discussion, and I'll explain a little more of the good women versus thoughts. All right, so stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Yeah, we talking about love, peace, and harmony in the community. Globally, that's what it's about now. Yeah, that's what it's all about now. It's time that we spread our love, do right,
Kimora Kreations are engaged in creating a wide collection of fancy, handcrafted, and embroidered tutus. They also specialize in customized art paintings and handcrafted gifts. Kimora Kreations is now selling $5 bling paparazzi accessories, where inspirations becomes works of art. Locally owned and operated arts, crafts, and clothing to all of Richmond, Virginia, and surrounding areas, Kimora Kreations, we strive to exceed our customers' expectations. To know more about Kimora Kreations, you can find her on Facebook at Kimora Kreations or www.janineandkimorasjewelrybox.com or call 804-592-1314.
Yeah, we talking about love, peace, and harmony in the community. Globally, that's what it's about now. Yeah, that's what it's all about now. It's time that we spread our love, do right, no matter black or white.
And welcome back to the Global Agenda Show. And I am your host, Kevin Hezekiah. And you're tuning in to episode number 8, Good Women versus Thoughts. Now, I'm pretty sure we have some new people tuning in to the show. We have new people chiming into the show often. So I'm going to explain to you what the Global Agenda is, because I'm pretty sure y'all like, who is this Kevin Hezekiah? Who is this Global Agenda? Well, the Global Agenda is a live 1 hour, no holds barred podcast show which focuses on a variety of topics which deals with all aspects of life, that is, with relationships, politics, religions, just to name a few. The content provides inspiration and motivation to our listening audience, helping to gain a strong desire to make a difference in the world. And your host, Kevin Hezekiah, engages and provides thought-provoking conversations for all ages, audience, races, and genders. All right? So, yeah, man, this is an amazing show. Like I said, our topic is good women versus thoughts, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you probably like, well, Kevin Hezekiah, what do you mean good women versus thoughts? Well, before I go into what a good woman is and what a thought is, I'll explain the setup of the show. All right. Well, the way it's going down is that we have 3 guest hosts, and the 3 guest hosts I have already interviewed. So it's a pre-recorded interview with the 3 guest hosts, and the 3 guest hosts we have today are Sweet Tea with Hot Sugar Tea podcast, J Spark with J Spark, the Spark Man podcast, and Takita with Talking with Takita podcast show. And we pretty much our conversation was in reference to the topic good women versus thoughts. And the way it goes is that I will explain far and go into the topic a little in depth to the topic, and then we'll have our guest host recording to come on, and you'll hear the conversation that I have with the guest host. And each one, before we go into the next host, I will also go furthermore into what the topic is. So, moving right along, wondering what a good woman is, first and foremost. I'm pretty sure y'all like, I know what a good woman is. It's somebody who's there for their man, and they take care of their man, and this and this and this and that. Yeah, okay. That could be considered a good woman, but is she really a good woman? But anyway, let's go into it. A good woman is someone as perfect as your mother. Can be better or just as great. She takes care of her man. She supports her man. She provides for her man. She's someone who you would one day consider a spouse and has a good head on her shoulder. Now, as far as what a thought is, now, a thought is a woman who pretends to be the type of valuable woman or female commodity who's rightfully earns male commitment until the man discovers that she's just a cheap imitation of a good woman who is only good for mindless sex, not relationships or respect. Now, if women are products, then thoughts are cheap goods more than that. They're knockoffs, low quality merchandise that attempts to masquerade as luxury items. So that is the definition of a good woman, and then that was the definition of a thought. So what I'm going to do now is move right along and go into our conversation with Sweet Tea. And Sweet Tea with Hot Sugar Tea, she and I discuss what good women versus thoughts was about. So here we go. This is Sweet Tea with Hot Sugar Tea podcast show. All right.
Well, when I saw the topic, I'm kind of confused because I'm like, what would you consider a good woman? Mm-hmm. We know what a thought is.
Exactly.
But what is a good woman? Because I feel like nobody's perfect. Everybody has done something, okay, in their life. Whether you cheated on your spouse, you cheated on somebody. Nobody's perfect unless you're a virgin, of course. But I feel like everybody's done something. Mm-hmm. So what's a good woman?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, what is a good woman? Because a thought can be a good woman.
Exactly.
Too. Because she's a thought don't mean she's a bad woman.
Okay. Because see, that's where I'm going. Because see, I know a lot of women, because I just know a lot of women who are, say, on the side of, like, if they're strippers, just adult industry, like, women. And some of those women are great moms, and they have turned their lives around, and they're great. They have husbands. So, but people will consider them thoughts. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So that's why I'm asking that question. Like, when I saw that topic, I'm like, that's interesting. So.
Exactly. I mean, I'm thinking the same thing. But I think what people are trying to look for is, because a lot of people take the thought as a woman of I shall say, who's the saying, oh, she's a whore, she's this, she's that. You see what I'm saying? And so I'm thinking people are maybe thinking, well, a good woman is someone who's with her man, stands by her man, and doesn't do him wrong, and she's always there for him, this and this and this and that. That doesn't, just because a woman's doing that, to me, doesn't make that woman a good woman.
No.
I've been in relationships where the woman has stood by me and done great things, but at the same time, the reason why that woman is because she has some bad
because
things
some of these good women, let's just say, she does all those things. She cooks, she cleans, she take care of the kids. She does so many things, because it's so many things as a woman that you do to make sure your man is good, right? But I think that a lot of these good women, because I no disrespect, but I think a lot of the good women are missing some of the key points that you also have to make sure that your man is taken care of. Because if these dots, it wouldn't be no dots out here if you was doing your job. Okay? You can cook, you can clean all day, but if you're not doing the other half of it is mental, the same level, and then you have something called sex. Not doing that, thoughts are going to be around, honey.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And when it comes to thoughts, man, to me, a thought ain't just representing a woman. A guy can be a thought. You see what I'm saying? And you made a good point, because when men do get thoughts, or if a woman does have a thought in her life, it makes the relationship fun.
Right.
Because you're doing things first and foremost, you're doing some things probably secretive, that makes it even more the adrenaline of that relationship, because that's still a relationship. That relationship, oh my God, this is exciting. You see what I'm saying?
Right. So what is because you are a guy, have you ever had that experience? Like where you had a good woman, but she didn't do all the things she was supposed to do as a woman, and you might have had to go out?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I most definitely have had that. That's why I was saying a few minutes ago, I was in a situation of the woman. She was good. She cooked. She did things for me as well as I did things for her. But she had those characteristics, I guess, because how she was raised. But at the same time, she has a mind of her own, and she, people want to do what they want to do. So she had some bad tendencies.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And to where I was like, I can't I can't get down with you. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, I had to step out. I stepped out. So-called call myself maybe dealing with thoughts. But I wasn't thinking of the woman as women as thoughts or whatever. But it was just the point that they were providing for me that positive energy and stuff that I was really looking for. So yeah. So have you been in a situation that way, or have you even had someone to call you?
No, I haven't had nobody call me at that. I don't think people are that stupid. But I have had friends that were in a situation where, they were like, they were okay with, maybe being with somebody else man because they felt like, it worked. Their relationship worked. And it was just what we're talking about. The woman that was at home was not doing what she was supposed to. So the man checks out, but he doesn't, it's not saying that he's leaving you. He's saying that he's not getting everything he wants at home. And sometimes I think as women, and I know the all the feminist women out there is going to be like, why are you saying this? But I feel like we have to take care of our men, just like they should take care of us. And just like that, if they don't take care of us, guess what, woman? We're going out there, we're looking. We're going to find what we need. So let's be real. I think people just don't keep it real. And they like to talk all day and say what they wouldn't do. But when we all come down to it, we have needs, we're going to get what we need. Whether you're a woman or a man, you're going to get it. Okay?
Exactly. I totally agree.
So you could call them a thought, you could call them a hoe, whatever you want. The point is keeping it 100. You have to make sure if you have a significant other, you're taking care of that person. What do they like? Talking to them. It's more than cooking and cleaning. Every girl out there, a good girl, most good girls think it's just about cooking, cleaning, and going to church. That's part of it.
Exactly.
That's not all of it.
Shoot, I mean, because even still, if you're that type of woman that's going to do that for your man, hey, that's great. It's also good to have fun and be a thought for your man.
Exactly. What happens to that? Right. Because you should. Right. Because it's your man. If it's your man, you should be a big thought for your man. Because that's why I don't like if you are taking care of home, you don't have to worry about no thoughts, no hoes, no hookers, nothing. No escorts, because he is pleased at home, and what he has at home, he already got a thought. He got a wife and a thought.
Exactly. And he would most definitely let that be known. You see what I'm saying? But as he's out here in these streets doing what he has to do to provide, because I'm pretty sure he's providing because he's satisfied, he would let that be known. You see what I'm saying? That he has a great woman at home, and hey, my woman is my thought, my woman is my whatever, my side piece or whatever you want to call it.
Right. I don't need nothing else. Right. So I think that's, and I know a lot of people are going to tackle this subject, and they're going to say something totally different. But I think a lot of people don't keep it 100 with themselves. And they want to say what's right. They don't. Everybody wants to be what's right. But what's right? You get what I'm saying? Like, what's right?
Right.
saying that you a
What's
good
right?
woman is somebody that's at home and she cooks and clean, and the thought is the wrong. She's in the wrong. Now, I do not agree with messing with somebody's husband. Now, I don't agree with that.
Right. Mm-hmm. I totally agree.
All right, and you just heard the conversation with guest host Sweet Tea with Hot Sugar Tea podcast show, and our conversation about what a good woman versus a thought is. Now, if you're just tuning in, you're listening to the Global Agenda Show, and I'm your host, Kevin Hezekiah, and our topic is good women versus thoughts. And before we go any further, I would like to say that this show, this episode number 8, Good Women versus Thoughts, is brought to you by SNR Live TV. SNR Live TV, you can check them out at sourcenationradio.com. And SNR Live TV, they bring to you various topics of conversation. They have topics dealing with love, dealing with lifestyles, dealing with health, religion, you name it. So check out SNR Live TV. Just go to sourcenationradio.com and you can listen in to SNR Live TV. Now, we're going to take us a quick break, and when we come back into the break, we're going to go into our conversation, Good Women versus Thoughts, with Jay Spark. Jay Spark, Sparkman's podcast show. All right, so when we get back, we will continue with our topic, Good Women versus Thoughts. We'll be right back.
Yeah, we talking about love, peace, and harmony in the community. Globally, that's what it's about now. Yeah, that's what it's all about now. It's time that we spread our love, do right, no matter black or white.
Source Nation, join us now for the Political Corner with your host, Kevin Hezekiah, as he brings you the latest news in the area of politics. Tune in as Kevin discusses thought-provoking topics and shares his perspective on how we can move forward. Source Nation, here is your host, Kevin Hezekiah.
She has ignited gas that makes you lose control. And if you ever have a weakness, you better never let her know. Now you can't say I didn't warn you. You better take precautions. You never see you coming. She's so gorgeous. Let me tell you what it is. That girl is poison. Never trust a bad girl with a smile. She's no good for me, but it feels like all I need is her poison. Never trust a bad girl with a smile. I thought that it was nothing, but now I know what love for me is. Stop, cause if you don't, oh, you'll never be the same. She's the one giving love a bad name. She just wanted satisfaction, and she'll leave right after. Oh, you better watch out. Now you can't say I didn't warn you. You better take precautions. You never see it coming. Why? She's so gorgeous. I can tell you what it is. That girl is poison. Never trust a bad girl with a smile. She's no good for me, but it feels like all I need is her poison. Never trust a bad girl with a smile. I thought that it was nothing, but now I know what love for me is. Oh na 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 na. Oh na 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 na. Oh na 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 na. That girl is poison. Oh na 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 na. Oh na 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 na. Oh na 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 na. And I can tell you what it is. That girl is poison. That girl never trust a bad girl with a smile. She's no good for me, but it feels like all I need is her poison. Never trust a bad girl with a smile. I thought that it was nothing, but now I know what love for me is. Never trust a bad girl with a smile. Yeah, yeah. Never trust a bad girl with a
Yeah, we talking about love, peace, and harmony in the community. Globally, that's what it's about now. Yeah, that's what it's all about now. It's time that we spread our love, do right, no matter black or white.
And welcome back. Welcome back to the Global Agenda Show. And I'm your host, Kevin Hezekiah. And the song you just heard was Poison by K-Marzzz. And you can check K-Marzzz out at on YouTube. Just type in search. Just type in K-Marzzz, K-M-A-R-Z-Z-Z, and everything with him will come up. You can also check K-Marzzz out. He's in a boy band called Fourth Ave, and you can check Fourth Ave out at fourthavemusic.com. And yeah, and support K-Marzzz. Support him. Young man's doing a lot of great things. So like I said, the song you just heard was Poison. All right. And if you're just tuning in, like I said, this is the Global Agenda Show, and I'm your host, Kevin Hezekiah, and our topic is good women versus thoughts. And you just heard the conversation I had with Sweet Tea, with Hot Sugar Tea podcast, and we're pretty much saying that a good woman could be a thought, and a good woman that you think is a good woman, you know, she may not be a good woman, you know, just because she possessed those qualities. But anyway, moving right along, we're getting ready to go into our guest host with Jay Spark, the Spark Man's podcast show. So here we go. Here's Jay Spark.
From males or females, as far as a good woman versus a thought, is it the same thing, or is it something different between them?
Okay. Well, before we get started on the show, let me go ahead and get the formalities out the way, and let you do the same. This is, like I said, this is the night of Spark Man, and you can find this content on eternalmonarch.com. And I am your host on my side, Jay. So before we get started, can you let my audience know who you are and some of the content you produce and what your agenda is behind the kind of content that you make?
Yes, sir, Jay. My name, first and foremost, I'm Kevin Hezekiah, and I am the host for the Global Agenda Show. And you can check us out at theglobalAgendaShow.com. Now, the Global Agenda Show, we're a social and cultural topics as far as we deal with anything dealing with religion, relationships, politics, whether it's different type of genders and different types of, if you have kids, I mean, we deal with all broad range type of topics. So the one topic now that we're discussing is the good woman versus a thought.
Okay. So I know what a thought is. And I also know what a good woman is. But just for the sake of an argument, let's say that someone comes across this podcast, maybe from Egypt or India, who hasn't ever heard that term thought. What is a thought?
Now, as far as my understanding, a thought with the THOT is the what is them hoes over there or that hoe over there. It's the analogy of it. Now, my thing is, could a good woman be a thought, or a good woman cannot be? Is it two separate? Is it two separate individuals? And the thought doesn't. And I want to get this clear. A thought doesn't always have to be a woman. A thought can be a male too.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I thought, okay, got you. Okay, right. So let me ask this question, because I kind of get stuck on words every now and then. So I would ask this. I mean, I have a good woman. At least I would like to hope I have a good woman. Mm-hmm. And with that being said, I would never call my woman a hoe because of the psychological imprint of what a hoe is. So how could a good woman also be a hoe?
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this.
Or man, my bad. Or
right,
man.
Yeah. And since we on the woman species, I'm gonna say I have a great woman as well, and I wouldn't call my woman a hoe or anything. I wouldn't even call it a B word. Now, thought, when it comes to being a thought, I it's okay if you let your woman, that good woman, be a thought for you, and you be a thought for her. You see what I'm saying? That's all about playing role playing and just keeping a spark within the relationship. You see what I'm saying? Or within your marriage, or if you're married, or or going together. But now, as far as just blatantly thinking of that as her or whatever, or calling her that, no. But I had a conversation with a young woman in reference to this topic. She and I talked about it, and and we had a great conversation, and we both were saying that just because a woman is good and she's there for her man and everything like that, does that make that woman consider that woman a thought, or it goes into the part of it. Then it goes into, just because she's doing good, it could be something that's bringing out that woman to where she's not that good, or she could be considered a thought, or something related to that.
Okay. For me, I understand they say them hoes over there, but I also always associated the word thought with being thirsty, which means you're basically just, you're single, and this man is in a relationship, and you still just go and try to break up a home. That's a thirsty female or a thirsty guy, but it happens both ways. So that's what I associate the word thought with. But as far as a woman and a man being a thought for each other, I wouldn't want to use the term thought for each other, because it still doesn't fit for that relationship. That's just love.
Right.
I was talking about that the other day. I was like, a lot of people get the game of sex all messed up. When you having sex, it's not about what you can do for me. It's about being in service for the other person. And if y'all both have that mentality, then you can actually live a fantasy. You know what I mean? Because if you only focusing on making that person happy and not really worried about your gratification, that person, if you have the right person, is going to also return that favor back to you, and you're living their life. But a lot of people have sex and they just want to get their desires taken care of and leave it alone.
Yeah, well, see now, that's a whole nother topic to me, because I can go into the far as the essence of sex, because when it comes into sex, man, sex isn't about the wham bam thank you ma'am, and that's what a lot of people out here, majority of the people in this world, do not know how to make love. And when I'm saying making love, I'm saying with sexual intercourse, because it's all about breathing, it's all about energy, it's all about healing one another. That's what the intercourse of sex is. You see what I'm saying? And people really don't understand that, because it's a lot of women out here who haven't been made love to. Honestly. Yeah. Okay. It's a lot that haven't. And it's men out here who don't know the how to. But see, it's all about, you got to study and learn that stuff. But like I said, that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah.
You see it?
Okay.
So,
Well, that's I was just bringing. I didn't mean to get us off topic. I was just bringing that up because I understand what you were saying about we should be thoughts for each other, but I just don't like that term thought.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
not in a healthy, loving relationship.
I'm not saying that you calling them like I said. I wouldn't call her a thought, but it's just that the visual of what people think a thought is, just like you said, as somebody that's thirsty. And me and my wife play like that. Sometimes we have role, and this is no joke. We have a role play like that to where it's like she's another person. Because my wife has short hair, so she puts wigs on just for us to play and just for me to have a feeling of desire of another woman. So you see what I'm saying? And sometimes I can say, "Oh, you old thought," and and we play. You see what I'm saying?
So y'all have a good, healthy. That's a healthy relationship,
right?
You know what I mean? You're able to have fun with a serious type of thing. Sex shouldn't really be so serious. You actually should be able to have fun. And if a woman, like you said, you have a good woman, because a good woman understands that men have, desires and fantasies and things of that nature. And if a good woman has the awareness of this, they will play those roles, because what's the harm in playing a different person? If you know you're the real person,
exactly.
So I understand. I like that, man. I give y'all big ups for that.
I mean, hey, that's what we do. I mean, I have a great time with it. Like I said, I told a buddy of mine, because he's talking about getting married. Him and his fiance was hanging out with us. And my wife was like showing them the wigs she puts on and how we play. And I was like, yeah, man, it just keeps me out the street. It keeps me, if I have a desire, that keeps me out the street. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because now I'm like, oh, okay, you're a different person.
Okay, so let me ask you this question then. So, a good woman versus a thought, like, why do men or women deal with people that they know are, in that category? Like,
you know what? I think sometimes if a person does deal with a person that they know that's in that category, sometimes I think some people do it for the adrenaline rush and this is exciting, because a lot of times it's probably discreet when someone's messing with a thought. You see what I'm saying? It's going to be discreet. So with that energy going like that, that's like, oh my God, this is discreet. It's only between me and her, and then it's just how that energy is when they are together, and that connection of lust, because it's not love. You see what I'm saying? So, I feel that way about that.
Okay. Well, I'll have no problem with two thoughts getting together, because there's really no karma attached to that. You're both thoughts, and no one really commits to nothing. But if you are in a relationship and you're dealing with a thought, think about, like, I was just watching the show with my lady, and she was watching, I don't know, one of these reality shows. They had Damon Dash on it. And he was talking about something about he was just being able to do some introspect on some of his life choices. And he was talking about how when he was his kid's age, he was a big name on the street selling drugs and stuff. And now karma has played a role in his life, to where now at the same age, his kid is a drug addict. So, so I was like, yeah, that's karma right there, And so when it comes to a person dealing with a thought, and they're in a relationship and they just don't want to break it off and just say, hey, I'm going to let you do your thing, I'm going to do my thing. If they ever have kids or something like that, how they do that, not never think about karma, they're leaving that kind of thing, where their child might be in the same situation. And, do you want something like that for your child to go through?
Right, exactly. And you know what? And I think a lot of times people don't think like that, especially when they're going into a situation like that, because actually what that is to me, when a person is going into a situation of dealing with people of that nature, and and they are in another relationship or whatever, I think now they're focusing more on selfishness, the selfish reasons. It's something that they're looking for themselves. They're not thinking about the circle that they have created and what's in that circle and around them. And hey, and the reason why I say that, because I'm only speaking because of self. I done been down the road like that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm speaking for self, but I feel like everyone, that's how it is though. Because when I talk to other people and can ask the same question, it's pretty much the same similar answer. You know, because I needed something, I wanted something, I just had to be with her, or I had to be with him. It's all selfish. You see what I'm saying?
It's definitely selfish. Like, I'm gonna share a story before this is over with. Like, I was dating a lady. I'm in Nashville at the moment. I was dating a lady when I first moved down here a couple years back, and we dated for like 2 years, and it didn't work out. But then I was in another relationship for 5.5 years. As soon as that relationship ended, that woman came back into my life. We went to the club and whatnot. We drunk. We went. Instead of me going home, I spent the night over there. You know, it's because of the relationship, the woman I was with at that time, they didn't want to move out. So I was like, I'm not going to go home. It's not healthy to go home because we're not even together. So I'm going to stay over here. So I stayed over there. And by long story short, she tried to mess around with me, you know, and we went in the bed. I was in the bed. We were both buck-ass naked. I don't know if you can curse in the show, my bad. We were both buck-ass naked. And right when we was going through the motion, she started crying, and I was like, "Oh shit, here we go with this shit again," you know. And so I stopped, like, "What's going on?" And she's like, "I think I still love you." But man, but you know what? I got up. I don't want to play with your emotions. I know I'm not gonna get back with you, and you know, so I guess it's into a character, you know. Mm-hmm. Because, you know, I thought about it, any other guy probably would have said, I'm going to smash and just leave. And I don't care about you still love me. You know what I mean? But I guess it's like when it comes to, like, dealing with thoughts or, you know, cheating or anything like that, it all boils down to a person's character and whether or not they want to take responsibility for their actions.
That's right. That's true. Man, I'm glad you brought that. I'm going to see if I can touch bases on a little story about me similar to that. And with me, the intercourse happened within... When we inserted, when I inserted inside of her, man, I probably wasn't even in there maybe 5 minutes. Yeah, 5. It might have been 3 minutes. And I was like, look, I can't do this. You see what I'm saying? I can't do this. But the fucked up part about it was I was leaking semen. And guess what happened? Really? She got pregnant. So guess what? I have a baby mother. I'm not going to call her a thought, but this baby mother right here, she doesn't give me baby mama drama.
There you go.
I'm going to tell you one thing. Sometimes I love my little girl to death. That's my heart. But I wish I wouldn't have had it with that woman.
I can feel that, man. I don't have any kids, but my brother got the same kid.
You did the perfect way. I slipped up, but I did say, hey, I can't do this. This is not me. You see what I'm saying? Like, we would never have, and we didn't have a relationship until next thing I know, she's calling me talking about she's pregnant and this and this and that. So now I have to have a co-parenting relationship with her. But you know, she and I really, I don't get down with her like that, nothing like that. It's all about our daughter and this and that. And you know, because I was like, when that happened, I was like, it ain't gonna be nothing going on between us. I ain't even gonna play with your mind. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So I get where you're coming from.
All right, man. Wait, man. I appreciate wrapping it up with you, man. It was a great show. I hope I can catch you around. I'm gonna add you. Hopefully you add me back and we can do some more shows, man.
Yeah, most definitely add me, and I will most definitely add you back. It's been a pleasure, Jay Sparks, man.
All right, man.
All right, and you just listen to the conversation I had with our second guest host, Jay Spark, the Spark Man, and far as how he and I, you know, were saying that, you know, we wouldn't call our women thoughts, but at the same time we will play the game with them and play playtime and say, hey, you know, thought, but you know, we're not calling them a thought. We're role playing. You see what I'm saying? But anyway, if you're just tuning in, you listening to the Global Agenda Show, and I'm your host, Kevin Hezekiah, and our topic is good women versus thoughts. And you just heard me and Jay Spark, our second guest host, Jay Spark, from Jay Spark, the Spark Man podcast show. And as far as our opinion on a good woman and a thought. So, but anyway, we're going to take us a quick break. This will be our final break. And when we come back, we'll go into our last guest host, Takeda. His podcast is Talking with Takeda. So, Global Agenda, we'll be right back.
Yeah, we talking about love, peace, and harmony in the community. Globally, that's what it's about now. Yeah, that's what it's all about now. It's time that we spread our love, do right, no matter black or white.
Source Radio Network is just one of the many platforms that is used to fulfill dreams of our listeners and create a purpose that will impact the lives of our communities, cities, and the world. It is often said that great things will happen when a group of driven people work together to accomplish one goal. We're giving people the opportunity to have a voice, translate words that haven't been heard, and paint pictures that no one has seen. Source Radio Network is fueling your life's purpose. How can you listen? www.blogtalkradio.com/Source Radio.
Yeah, we talking about love, peace, and harmony in the community. Globally, that's what it's about now. Yeah, that's what it's all about now. It's time that we spread our love, do right, no matter black or white.
And welcome back to the Global Agenda Show. And I'm your host, Kevin Hezekiah. And before we go any further, this show is brought to you by SNR Live TV. That's Source Nation Radio Live TV. And you can check out Source Nation Radio Live TV, SRN, on Facebook. And I'm telling you, they have topics, a broad range of topics dealing with politics, religion, health and wellness, money management. If you're spiritual enlightenment, man, it's a broad range of topics on SRN, and you can check me out on SRN. I'm the host of the Polictical Corner every Wednesday, and so log on, check me out on Facebook. You can check me out on the platform, SRN platform. So check them out. Source Nation Radio Live TV. All right. Like I said, I'm Kevin Hezekiah, and this is the Global Agenda Show. And you are tuning in to the topic of good women versus thoughts. And this is episode number 8. And we're just heard from our second guest host, Jay Sparks, the Spark Man. So now we get ready to go into our last and final host, Takeda, with Talking with Takeda podcast show. And you can hear the conversation that Takeda and I had. So here we go with Takeda, Talking with Takeda podcast show.
Is it the same thing, or is these two different types of women? But now I'm sort of skeptical just to call women thoughts, because men can be thoughts too. So what
exactly. But because in this world, if a dude has had many girlfriends,
mm-hmm.
everybody says that's a good thing. But if a girl has had plenty of boyfriends, then apparently she's a thought. But it should be this. It's really the same thing back and forth. It's just because since she's a woman or a female, she's supposed to have more self-respect for herself. So I think that's really what puts women in that position.
Right. Exactly. I mean, so let's say this. Let's say you got a good woman at home, right?
Yeah.
And your woman, she does, and when I'm saying a good woman at home, that means she cooks and cleans and does a lot of things for you at the house. Now, and even with that being said, let's say y'all love making is off the chain. So would you role play and call her a thought? Just say, hey, that's just something we do, and that instead of your a thought, your woman is your thought, and she understands that, but you're not actually calling her the terminology of a thought. It's just the
Understand.
It's just the point that's a role playing.
So you're saying, would I call her that?
Well,
like
would you portray that? Like, would that be portrayed, say, like sexually in your relationship? Would that be okay to view her as that? But that's just a role playing situation, and you're role playing as if she's a thought.
I mean, well, honestly, it would be okay, but like if she's okay with it, like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But like, I mean, like, I guess in that sense, it really doesn't matter because, I mean, y'all are married, so y'all can do whatever y'all want with each other.
Right.
So, and I mean, like, yeah, that's something that you really have to think about,
Right.
Would you, like, is that something that you would do?
It says, yeah. I mean, actually, I have a great woman, and we do role play, and and that, and my woman, I'm not saying she's a thought, but the visual or the let's say as far as what a person thinks a thought is, that's someone who's thirsty, or it could be someone who's just always, after men, or a man always after a woman, just constantly a different person each time. Like me and my wife, we role play a lot, and we have role played something like that before, to where it was more like,
I got
act like you let's act like you're coming to a club and you picking up a thought. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, so like when you're
go ahead.
So that means, so I get it now. Like when you're with your woman, that's a respectable time to call her a thought.
Right.
That's that. I understand what you're saying, because like I'm close to college, and I hear that all the time in my city.
Yeah.
Like girls, they really basically gave themselves a bad name.
I know. I agree.
Because of what they do, like they just give themselves up these days. So really, but a lot of them do it because they've been going through hard times. But like there's simpler ways to deal with that.
Right.
Because like, I'm a good person. They could easily come talk to me. Because I like to comfort people. It's like I like seeing people happy. And whenever they do that to themselves, they're degrading themselves basically. So that they're letting themselves be called a thought.
I agree. I agree with you on that. I agree totally with you on that. I mean, I asked my wife the other day. I was like, I don't understand now the purpose of all these females on social media that's twerking. Like,
it's everywhere. It's everywhere.
I'm like, what's the point? Like, why everything has to be dealing with twerking? You see what I'm saying? Like,
everywhere you look.
And I love women. You see what I'm saying? But always twerking. I mean, I think I need to have a topic and ask a man, what do you like about twerking so much? Is that something that you
I feel that? Because it's come to the point where I remember one time going down the street. I was right by McDonald's at a red light, and there was this car next to me. I'm guessing they were college girls.
Right.
I don't know if it was a dare or something, or if they were just being stupid or crazy. I'm not going to call them stupid because they're smarter than that.
Right.
But one of them got out of the car and started twerking in the middle of the road. And I'm like, really? Like, why would you like why?
Yeah, what's the point?
Like,
that's like what you just mentioned. They put that label on it. Now that's a thought to me. You see what I'm saying?
like there was no point in that. You're waiting for the light to turn green, and like red light does not mean get out of the car and twerk, bro.
Right?
Like, come on.
Right. Exactly.
You know, I'm not trying to disrespect anyone that twerks, but like they say, there's a time and a place for everything. That wasn't the time, nor definitely not the place.
Right. Exactly. It wasn't, and that's when it goes to. I probably would have been at that light. Now that's a thought right there.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because that isn't a time or a place. And like you said, they especially females, they with the things they're doing now, they're pretty much labeling themselves like that.
And what makes it worse?
That's like a chick wants. A lot of these chicks now are fine being called side chicks and side pieces and stuff. I'm like,
yeah, it's cool. Like, why would you want to be the backup or like, you know? And you know what makes it worse is when they're black. You know, because you know,
yeah,
they already give us a hard time enough as it is.
Exactly.
And so, a lot of people, because like you know, when they see a black man, they say, "Oh, he's going to end up in jail. He's not going to father his kids, or he's going to still do this and that." That's what they think when they see a black male. When they see a black female, they're like, "Oh, she going to grow up be a stripper. She going to be
right,
or she just going to have plenty of kids and not know what to do with them and live on welfare." So seeing a black female doing that in the street is most definitely just going to reassure them, and then you know, it's just going to cause more problems within the community.
Exactly. I totally agree. I totally agree with you on that, man. I totally agree. And I guess then you could really, if you want to now separate the actual topic, good woman versus thought, then I would say at that time, that point in time with that female doing that, and someone was to say, is that a good woman or is that a thought? I would be like, well, that's a thought. That most definitely isn't a good woman. But who knows? She could really be a good woman, but at that present point in time, that's not what she's portraying herself as.
Oh, and then you know, there's another thing about that. Like, you know, I kind of understand if they're doing it to like support their kids, if they're having a hard time with money. Like I somewhat but I mean, I don't think of it as acceptable, but I understand it at the same time. Like, she's doing what she has to do to get the money for her kids.
So you say, as far as her being a thought, that's acceptable just because she's getting money for her kids?
Somewhat. I mean, I don't accept it. I'm saying it's understandable.
Oh, okay.
But like, it's not acceptable. Like,
right? Because
even though there's like, again, there are more ways to do this.
Right. Exactly.
Like, she could babysit.
You're right.
Or be a janitor. Like
right.
There are plenty of things to do. And just because you can't limit yourself to certain jobs because you're a woman. You can go out and cut people's grass. You don't have to be a man to do that.
Exactly. That's true. You know, and I think a lot of women, man, they take that concept of taking the beauty that they have, especially, and I just want to focus on the sisters, the black women, because I love black women. I think they're the most beautiful women in the world. But when they have that beauty and know they have that beauty, it's like, why would you want to go out here and just like display it in that type of way? Like, but like you say, it's tons of other things you can do. But I mean, the sex industry and all of that is so huge, man.
I mean, like, in my opinion, if you're a woman and you also like cut the grass and stuff, that makes me look at you even more, because like that shows me that you know how to handle yourself.
Exactly. That's
like,
true.
In most cases, that would really make a girl more attractive. And then, especially if you know how to clean yourself afterwards and make it look like you ate, like you know, like you didn't even do any yard work.
Yeah,
30 seconds ago.
She's looking very feminine and very sexy. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Indeed, I totally agree with that. Yeah, because that is to me more sexy than someone who is out here shaking and yada yada
Yeah.
yada 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 yada. You see what I'm saying? And especially if they cut another person's grass to get paid. You see what I'm saying? Instead of going out here and shaking their tail to get paid, they cutting grass to get paid, and then they go back and dress themselves up. Oh my God, I would be like, yeah, you
shows she knows how to handle herself.
Exactly. I totally agree. Man, well, hey, you said your name was Keyshawn?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, all right, Keyshawn. Well, hey, man, this is the Global Agenda Show, and I'm Kevin Hezekiah, and me and Keyshawn are talking about good women versus thoughts. So, Keyshawn, before we close out, you say this is your first time doing a podcast?
Yes, sir.
So, what's the name of your podcast?
I just named it Takeda.
Okay.
Because that's my Japanese name.
Oh wow.
But I will probably, if I can, I will probably change it to Talking with Takeda, because basically I'll just be going over multiple different topics, like whatever people want to hear. I'll do that, and if I didn't finish a talk one day, then I'll probably finish it a few hours later or the next day. Like this one, I like to continue this talk. Right. I only have about 3 minutes left.
Right.
Do you have a Snapchat or Twitter or something?
Yeah, you most definitely can look me up. You can look me up on Facebook at The Global Agenda. You can look me up on IG at The Global Agenda. You could also find me on Facebook at Kevin Hezekiah, and on Instagram at on Instagram is Hezekiah Sar, but you can probably type in Kevin Hezekiah and it'll come up. And also the website is globalagenda.com. So check us out at Global. We put our shows up there. Like with this show, it's going to expand because I have two other co-hosts that I have talked to, and I pretty much combined the shows into one, and they're like an hour long. So so go check out the Global.
Do you have an email?
Show.com. Yeah, the email address is info. That's
info.
INFO at theglobalAgendaShow.com. That's THEGLOBALAGENDASHOW.com. TheglobalAgendaShow.com. So info at theglobalAgendaShow.com.
Well, there you have it, folks. Our opinion on good women and thoughts. Kevin, I appreciate you coming.
Most definitely.
I will certainly let you know about further podcasts that I will be doing. I actually might be doing one again because I don't have anything to do until 5:30. So
okay.
Thank you for coming. I hope to talk to you about something again.
Yeah, most definitely. I would most definitely like you and also connect with
Got
you.
30 seconds. Okay, well, until next time, tell the people goodbye.
All right, this is the Global Agenda Show, and I'm your host, Kevin Hezekiah, and we're out of here.
All right. Well, you just heard the conversation with Takeda and I. That's Takeda with Talking with Takeda podcast show. Hey, that right there was a very great conversation as well. And Takeda pretty much is saying that, thoughts to him are the ones that are like on the Instagram shaking their tails and all that for money and stuff like that. But he also said that he feels when a good woman is a good woman, she don't have to be a thought. She can be a good woman and be out here without having to be a thought, and can go out here and babysit to make money or cut grass to make money, but then come home and dress herself up into a beautiful, beautiful goddess. You see what I'm saying? And and he said, hey, that's a good woman, and she doesn't have to be a thought. So hey, I agree with Takeda on that. So yeah, that is a good woman. I mean, hey, you are attracted more to that woman than you are attracted to that woman that's on the Instagram shaking her tail for cash. But anyway, if you're just tuning in, you're listening to the Global Agenda Show. I'm your host, Kevin Hezekiah, and our topic for today is good women versus thoughts. Now, it's about time to end the show, but still, I want to just go into what a good woman is and then go back into what a thought is before I close out. Now, they also define a good woman as someone who is proud of herself. She respects herself and others, and she is aware of who she is, and she neither seeks definition from the person she is with, nor does she expect them to read her mind. A good woman has a dash of inspiration and a dab of endurance, and hey, that's what they're that's what it is with, to me, as far as with a good woman. Now, far as getting into again the thought, they generally dress in cheap clothing. They try to act like they're better than they really are, and or they think that they're not trashy but high class when there's nothing close to classy about them. And then they demand respect, like money and gifts and dates and but they do nothing to deserve any of it, because they have no self-respect, they have no manners, they have low self-esteem, little education, and on top of that, they are slutty because they have no self-worth. I mean, it can stand for, the thought can stand for that hoe over there, and a thought is usually active like on social media, just what Takita was talking about, and especially on Instagram and Snapchat. And those are, I've watched those, and they are, I would say they're thoughts too, because I was just asking my wife. I told her a few days ago, I was like, man, what is it about these females that are constantly on this social media, like just twerking and stuff? Like, what do they expect a man to really get out of that? And what does a man always want to see that? You see what I'm saying? But hey, that's a thought. And so keep going. I think, they post the videos, obnoxiously lip syncing to rap songs while playing with the hair and thinking she looks good, like Beyonce or somebody, and they're probably wears Calvin Klein and Adidas and Nike hats, and she has that perfect eyeliner and contour, and she seems like she doesn't care what anyone thinks about her. Now, she may come across as a fake, conceited, or a shallow, dumb bitch, but deep down, she is insecure, and unfortunately, the only way she gets confidence is by getting validation from men on the social media by posting pictures and showing off her figure and the plastic face. Now, so next time you see a thought, be nice to them. They still haven't developed fully yet. Hey, but you're a thought. Good on you. And like I said, and if you want to be considered for that abbreviation, that hoe over there, hey, that's just you. That's what you want to be considered. But anyway, you're listening to the Global Agenda Show, and this has been a great show. I'm your host, Kevin Hezekiah, and hey, I just want to thank our sponsors once again, Kimora's Kreations, the Political Corner with me, your host Kevin Hezekiah, and SNR Live TV. I want to thank those sponsors for all their hard work and dedication to making this show happen. All right, so now y'all know, before I go, I have to leave you with something, some type of food of thought. Let me see here. What can I leave you all with? Oh man, it's so much that's going on out here, and it's like you need to keep your mind, and you need to keep your spirit guarded, but keep your mind focused and stay positive and stay in the present and be in the moment on all things, because man, out here it's rough. But here we go. If you focus on the hurt, you will continue to suffer. If you focus on the lesson, you will continue to grow. So, once again, if you focus on the hurt, you will continue to suffer. If you focus on the lesson, you will continue to grow. So make sure, don't stay in that negative zone, because that's focusing on the hurt. Because if you stay in that negative zone, you can't fix it. You're going to still feel the pain. And why would you want to have that going on? Get up out of that. Put your focus in on that positive energy and let it go so you can grow and continue to move forward. You see what I'm saying? All right? So, hey, it's been a great show. I'm Kevin Hezekiah, and I just want to say peace and blessings to everyone, and knowledge, enlightenment, victory. Never forget Kev. I'll talk to y'all next week. Peace out.
Yeah, we talking about love, peace, and harmony in the community. Globally, that's what it's about now. Yeah, that's what it's all about now. It's time that we spread our love, do right, no matter black or white. That's what it's all about now. Yeah, it's time to come together now. The global agenda. The global agenda. The global agenda. The global agenda.